How's it going, y'all? Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if I'm coming in clear. Let me know if I'm coming in clear here on the chat. Might take a second or two. Happy Friday, though. Wow. What a day. What a day. Tesla fallen. Let me know if I'm coming in okay. Awesome. Okay. See here. Tesla 820 right now. There we go. Tesla 820 right now. Weird day today. Yeah, rough day for Tesla. Lost any money on my call for next week. This week was interesting, right? Like, remember Monday, they totally collapsed the stock, and that, if you watch the videos I talk about, I wonder if there was some capital raise coming or something. This sell-off, though, that we've been seeing, let me change this to 5-minute. This sell-off that we've been seeing in Tesla, let me just try to zoom in here. It's I don't want to say it's massive, but it is a sustained sell-off. Now, the question here is, I'm going to try to make this more in scale. The question here is it macro related? I mean, potentially, right? If I look at the S&P, how's the S&P doing right now? SPX. The S&P currently is down 55 basis points. Tesla is down 2.9%. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not down a lot. Right now might be a good time, if you were sitting on your hands. Like, this is probably the biggest sell-off that we've seen sustained for in the last couple of days, I would say. Let me just go back and make sure. We saw, when did we see this big of a sell-off? Maybe this one, on, what day was this? January 11th. So, earlier this week, this Monday, when we saw that. So, interesting times in Tesla. 820, let's go back to the hourly. Let's take a look at how that's holding up. Hey, Trunk, how's it going? Can you guys let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me okay? Making sure. I got a new setup going, so I got new mics and all that sort of stuff. So let me know in the chat if I'm coming in clear. Okay, 1 minute. Let's pull this back up here. It's it's kind of a healthy pullback, right? I mean, we've been consolidating. It looks like we consolidated and broke through to the downside. So obviously not ideal, but let's take a look here. Let's talk about catalysts today a little bit, right? Like, catalysts. Awesome. Thanks, Jesus. Or Jesus. What platform? This is Trader Workstation. Trader Workstation with Interactive Brokers. It's better than the other setup. Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate that. So 820 looks like it's kind of holding here for now, at least. We'll see if that's the case. Catalyst. Okay, so let's talk about catalyst. First things first, it really looks like, this is kind of a design sell-off. Now, I was talking about macro. It could be Trump related. We got to remember that. Trump, Biden, all this sort of stuff is happening this weekend, inauguration weekend. So potentially it could be downside risk there that people are taking off the table. So that potentially could be it. If that's the case, and a lot of this sell-off is related to what we expect potentially coming up with the inauguration, like, yeah, there might be a couple of scares or people protesting, stuff like that, but this could be a really good time to get in, obviously, if you're holding. Awesome. Thank you, Bob. So, yeah. So, long story short, if we look at Tesla in the grand scheme of things, and I pulled up the 5-minute, but I won't now. Today is, since, it doesn't take a genius for me to tell you, for the last hour and a half, we've been selling off tremendously. I said, 55. We have to break 855 for us to move up. And it looks like, although Daniel Ives came out with an upgrade today, I don't see, I don't see that being the next catalyst. The next catalyst is after this inauguration, after all the politics are over, after Biden is now, just the next president, and stuff is finally set in stone, and there's no like weird last minute, thing that everyone's worrying about. I think that'll stabilize the market a little bit. Let me know what you guys are holding. You got what positions are you guys holding? Let me know in the chat. Are you guys holding any positions right now? What's up with Neo? I sold half my Neo share position. I'm holding the other half. I'm probably going to look to get back in next week at some point. Earnings, but earnings are going to be, we lost. Well, I mean, if you bought weeklies, yeah, you did, right? But, if you're holding leaps and stuff and shares, then you just hold. Tesla long. You guys are just share long. Anyone holding any option positions? We can talk about options for a little bit here too. It's, it's interesting. It's, so if you look at the options market, obviously Friday is where the pin action happens, right? And if we look at the open interest, the highest open interest on the call side looks obviously like the 800s. Now I don't expect there to be enough downward pressure to get to the 800s here. In fact, I probably see us bouncing back up a little bit here into the maybe 830s coming up to the close. But there is 5,000 open interest at 830, 4,000 at 840, 12,000 at 850. So that's interesting. So obviously there was enough pressure there to move the stock downwards. Let's see here. That's why I'm down. I do options on Robinhood, but not at the moment. Interesting. Trying to get back into Neo. Yeah, Neo's interesting. I mean, Neo obviously had a catalyst, so, it kind of already had it. Tesla looks like it's finding a bottom here, though, around the 820-ish. Maybe we rally into close. Be careful, though. If you're trading these options, right? Like, Friday is going to be crazy. Zoom in the S&P. Hey, Gaurav, how's it going? What do I think? It's not going to happen. Gary is saying, Gary Black on Twitter. Right. There's there's Martin Luther King Day on Junior Day on Monday. That's right. Gaurav, Zoom on S&P is not going to happen. Like, Zoom, Square, these stocks have dual class, and in 2017, the S&P 500 actually put an end to introducing dual class shares into their fund. Now, I replied to that to Gary, and I said that, and he said, well, look at Facebook, look at Berkshire Hathaway. And then I replied, well, those were grandfathered in when they announced that rule in 2017. So he replied again, and he said, well, they could change it. I guess, but I can only go by what the rules are right now. I can't, predict whether or not they're going to make a last minute change in the price. Square, same problem, right? Square, same problem. It has dual class shares. Google has dual class. Like, Google's the class example, right? There's GOOG and there's GOGL, right? So, that's the problem there that we have with multi-class shares. I'm really long Square, though. Zoom I was for the longest time, but I sold before earnings. But Square, like, I'm long Square. I want Square to be in the S&P 500. Like, I have leaps, I have shares, I have short-term calls. Like, you saw the tweet. Okay, awesome. FJE, how's it going, man? There'll be a huge breakout starting afterwards all the way to earnings. So here's what I was going to say, right? And obviously this is anyone's guess, and technical analysis doesn't tell us crap. But look at this for a second. I mean, if you think about it just rationally, this week they absolutely killed premiums, right? And if you remember, before S&P Inclusion Week, what did they do? They killed premiums up until S&P Inclusion Day, and then they put in the move the following week. Obviously, earnings was the catalyst for this week, so it could be entirely feasible that their whole goal was to kill premium for this week and then put in the move next week. Entirely possible. So that's kind of what we're looking for right now, is to see whether or not they put in a move. Like, what news could come out, though, after hours? Like, Honestly, probably not very much. Maybe like upgrades are probably saved for Monday or Sunday. Um, if Biden introduces a tax credit this inauguration weekend, watch out. Tesla's roaring up, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Right. Stock like they killed everyone's premiums for sure. And I'll show you on IV what they did. Refresh on S and X. Okay. Yes. Agree. Hey Raptor. Agreed. But listen, like everyone knows that the S and X are getting refreshed. Like which investor? Like if you know and if I know, what sophisticated investor that has connections on Wall Street doesn't already know that, right? Like we're looking for something that's not priced in the market. I mean, unless they come out with something absolutely nuts on the S and X, like I don't know what they possibly could. I'm not sure if we see a sustained rally from that. That's what I'm looking for is a sustained rally. Hey Tyler, how's it going? FSD beta expansion, definitely possible. Definitely possible. If you remember, I was the idiot that predicted that they're going to be releasing FSD monthly, January 1st or whatever. So didn't happen. But man, if that happens and they release a monthly package, agreed. That could be definitely a real catalyst. Tesla, I mean, if you look at Tesla historically, like Tesla always sells the news after earnings day, right? Always happens. And I think that's going to be even more true now that it's an S&P. I could be wrong, and the one theory I have against myself there, again, it's good to argue against yourself, right? But the one theory I have against that there is when Tesla wasn't in the S&P and good earnings came out, a lot of institutional funds didn't have the permission to buy Tesla because they might have rules where they can only buy stocks that are in the S&P 400 or 500. So we didn't necessarily always see that rally after earnings because a lot of institutional investors had to sit on their hands. Whereas now that it's an S&P, there could be a case made where now if really good news comes out after earnings, potentially institutional investors actually push up the stock. They now have permission to get into Tesla. That could be definitely possible. RS Music, eHang, your thought? I have no idea what eHang is. I'm sorry. I don't. No idea. Johnny, how's it going, man? Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting to go live and I had a new setup. I set everything up. I was fixing my computer. All my parts came in. I was like, let's test out this new graphics card. Let's try it out. Hello to the Oracle. Hey, Scott. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, okay. Arc Trooper Rob says, I think they're working on games and multiplayer online games when you're charging or waiting. So I don't think the games makes a difference, but you bring up a good point, which is the App Store. I was driving the other day and I was like, man, if this thing just had an app store where I could download any app in the world, Zoom, like for example, Zoom, right? All Teslas have a camera facing you recording, for, sending information back to Big Brother. But like, can you imagine having Zoom calls in your Tesla like that? They can make it a way where it could be safe, right? Like it records you, it's on the dashboard, I don't know, or you could do it. Maybe you're only allowed to do it when you're charging or something, but which graphics card did I get? I waited a long time to get a really crappy one. I got the 1660 Super. It was like overpriced, but it was finally in stock. So, yeah, Neo plays. Yeah, Neo's. I sold half my shares, and we were having a good discussion in our Discord today about Neo, and generally speaking, I think I'm still long Neo. But maybe I'm gonna wait until until a really big dip past my average price point to load back in because I think it might happen. Price predictions after earnings. This question's come up a little bit here. Honestly, I can't tell you. Like short term, like I always say, like short term, who freaking knows? Like especially with Tesla, like seriously, like no one knows. No one knows short term what's going to happen. I did see a question. My 5-year price target for Tesla. My 5-year price target for Tesla was above 1,300. Now, how much more? I don't know. I don't have a pinpoint number on that, but I've made a couple of videos. If you guys wanna watch me price through what FSD is worth, what automotive is worth, so you can kind of do the deduction math. But based on different variables that you might have, you might come up with a different one. But if you follow the video, at least you can follow along with the logic. But you see 925 on good earnings. So the question is I think the better question to ask is like, what percent can Tesla move after earnings? right? Because what it might be up until earnings is the $1,000,000 question, right? Like I can't tell you a price target for earnings because I don't know where it'll trend before earnings date, right? If I were to tell you though, obviously with my videos about benchmark funds still having to buy in, I still think they're underweight. I still think a lot of these people are underweight. Now, do they get in this week? Do they get in at close today? Do they get in next week? I think next week is definitely feasible. The way that they killed premiums this week definitely is reminiscent of how they killed premiums the week of the 18th. You guys remember the week of December 18th when it was our channel's first live. We watched S&P introduction. That whole week they just killed premiums, right? And I follow people on Twitter that made one person close to $1 million bet. Actually, Emmett's way more than that, but this person is a different person. $1 million call bet just for that week. And obviously, you know what happened with S&P inclusion. The move didn't get put into the stock until the following week. So thoughts on CRISPR? I was going to buy CRISPR. Oh, wait, did I buy CRISPR today? Let me check. Did I get filled? I didn't get filled, but I was trying to get into CRISPR yesterday and today, but I'm trying to get into Leaps and they're so illiquid. So I got into Lemonade, right, as a starter position, and it's a September call, but it's out of the money. And I got in because it's enough for me to want to do more research on. Enough for me to want to do more research on. I've been in and out of Lemonade and CRISPR for a long time, right? Probably the last five weeks now. But I'm kind of thinking just let's put in an elite position and kind of call it a day instead of going all this trading. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Buy the dip. Insider trading. So is this insider trading? The inclusion definitely was. I don't think it's like the thing you have to realize is it's not insider trading if the people that can afford to move the stock capitalize on moving the stock, right? Like if I had a $5 billion fund, let's say, and I can move Tesla stock $10, $15, if I had bought in calls or if I had sold calls and I can move the stock up or down to collect premium, that's not insider trading. That's just Wall Street corruption, straight up Wall Street corruption. But that's just the way it works, right? Those who have money can afford to move stocks. Tesla's its own monster, and I've talked about this, where you really have to be a big fund for you to really have a move on Tesla now as an $800 billion company. But in general, like when you have money, you can move stocks. And when you can move stocks, you can collect premium. If you can collect premium, you can print money, right? That's kind of the goal. Darren, I sold CRISPR at $155. I mean, I've sold CRISPR. I've bought and sold CRISPR for a long time. But yeah, I did sell. Was it CRISPR at $150? No, Lemonade, I think you're talking about. Yeah, I've bought and sold a lot. So we'll see. I've sold my CRISPR to buy Tesla when it was $660. Oh, good move. Good move. Do you think NIO is a sell before big week end? Well, you have half an hour left, and like in general with shares, it's hard to say. I mean, if you end up holding these shares, you know, equities are in general good other than some sort of macro event coming up. But you know, some people in our Discord have gotten into Neo Leaps. So, I mean, maybe there's something there. What was the first stock you ever bought? I didn't buy it. I bought it on my dad's account, but I was 7 years old before school. I was so dumb. I didn't know anything. It came up as a ticker symbol. So I made my dad buy that. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what company that was. That was the first stock I bought. Tyler, I bought some SPCE call space calls. There's Virgin Galactic Leaps after ARCX announcement and more shares. Nice. Yeah, ARCX, if you don't know, ARC is coming out with a space fund, and that's going to be awesome. Whether or not I invest in it, I don't know, but I think ARC is really going to be the big it's going to be the next big fund. I mean, it's already bigger than I saw BlackRock in terms of volume right now. Like it's nuts already, but check out what ARC is doing, right? Like if you don't know what to do, research, like they've done the research and they've made it free and public in these white papers too, right? Gary Black says, new tweet, only thing that can reasonably explain Tesla being down 2.5% today is Bitcoin's free fall, minus 10%, going into that weekend, which has become the Wild West. I know that doesn't make sense, but with some well-known Tesla bulls, also Bitcoin bulls, it's the most likely explanation. What is he saying? What? Okay, look, here's the problem, and Gary knows more. Gary's forgotten more than I ever known, right? Here's the thing though, is like whenever we try to explain day-to-day moves, we're shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit. What happens day by day is so highly dependent on which fund has a certain metric that they need to liquidate, which fund has hit their targets, which fund has, like, in general, retail investors don't move stocks, right? And Fridays especially, don't even get me started, right? So yeah, predicting what's happening day by day is just it's a fool's errand. But it's interesting that he thinks, I'm not sure if this is a tongue-in-cheek tweet, but he put out, the only thing he can explain Tesla being down is that Bitcoin is down. Okay, interesting. 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 Sandy Monroe said, and this is a tweet I'm reading. Sandy Monroe, if you guys don't know, is a car engineer who now specializes in battery engineering and reverse engineering stuff for big corporations. He's a consultant to many companies. He said a North American company bought his Tesla Model 3 reverse engineer bundle. The company doesn't make cars, he said. Who could have that been? Was it Apple? Gary gets burned a lot on his short-term positions. Yeah, I mean, as we all do, right? Are you on Twitch? No, I'm not on Twitch. I don't game. I don't game at all. My game is the stock market, unfortunately, which is more expensive than just gaming. Hold to 2100. Yeah. Tesla's holding and consolidating at this 820-ish, so it looks like there's good support here. Will there be a stock crash around April, as some articles have said? Man, there might be a stock crash Tuesday, right? Like, here's the thing. What articles, like, who cares what articles say? Like, everyone will call for a crash every single day. Who predicted, like, the COVID crash happening last year, right? Macro, like, there's a reason why. Yeah, exactly. Who can know the future? Like, macro is the reason, like, here's the thing. There's like these two different, I don't want to say it's a dichotomy, kind of, but it's kind of a fool's dichotomy where you can really bank on high growth, predict where the future is going in terms of technology and innovation and consumer demand, like Tesla, like Apple in 2008. You can be like, okay, it's obvious that this is where the world is going. It's cheaper, it's better, it's faster, and it brings me more joy. Like, you can bet on that. You can bet on that in like the long-term macro. But at the same time, you can't really say, what macro event is going to happen that's going to be a catalyst or deterrent to a certain thing, right? Like COVID came, and one of the things Cathie Woods, if you guys follow Cathie Woods, she says is recessions actually accelerate technological growth, because a lot of these companies like GM or Ford, the first thing they do in a recession is they cut growth projects, right? Because they need to fund their main business to stay alive. So the first thing they do is cut R&D. They cut technological advancement. And the companies that are already on the cusp of technological advancement just double down. So these recessions actually accelerate it. And that's what we've seen with Tesla, right? Aaron, if you're worried about the short-term losses, you're not in this for the long-term. We should just get out and never back. Yeah, exactly. Raptor, there's also rumors Tesla's liquidating S and X inventory now. Hopefully refreshes next week. Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to liquidate those for a while. Since December, I want to say they've been, you can buy what's called CPO, certified pre-owned, out of Tesla dealerships. And, I consider doing that. But, they've had inventory up there for a while. What do you think about the new position with these short sellers? I think it's a good thing, potential short squeeze. Yeah, FJE, I'm not sure if you watched the video I made on that, but I made a video the other day about why Tesla shorts are secretly rising and how that could potentially be a good thing. So I would watch that. I'm thinking of buying an $860 call expiring January 22nd. So that's next week. Let's pull that up. 860. So it's $15. Okay. So here's my golden kind of rule with weekly options. You guys want to hear it? My golden rule with weekly options, if you're going to buy options that expire like kind of 2 weeks and less, is expect zero, right? Expect zero. If you're buying something for 1,500, you can probably, like, you know, depending on your account, you can take that as a zero. Like, it doesn't matter because it can be a small percentage of it. It's like a lottery ticket is what I call it, right? Yeah, and you can have percentage rules, exactly no more than 5%, blah, blah, blah. But expect zero. And the reason why I say this is because, and I try to live by this now, is these weekly options will go from 15 to 17, and you'll think, okay, great, I'm up $200 per contract. And then they'll collapse to 5, and you'll be sitting on your hands, like you're sitting on your diamond hands. And then they'll go to 2, and then they'll skyrocket up to 30. It's happened. And guess where you're going to sell? Guess where you're going to sell, right? So honestly, if you're going to play weeklies, you have to expect zero. I know not everyone does that. I know people go, okay, well, I'm going to have a stop loss. For me, stop losses don't work on weeklies. I'm going to get stopped out every single time. Like, weeklies are so volatile. I'm going to end up, like, you have to have diamond hands if you're going to do that, right? And here's another thing that this does, right? Forget who was asking about getting into this call. If you're getting into these $1,500 calls, right? And you're expecting zero, are you going to buy less or more than if you're expecting to get out at $10? If you're expecting zero, you're going to buy more or less, right? Weekly expecting zero instead of weekly with hope. Exactly. Well, here, that's not my point, lock-in funds, like, right? You're going to buy less, right? Exactly. You got it. So you're going to buy less. In general, a good golden rule is buy less, especially weeklies. The move, you can't predict a short-term move. You can predict the longer-term move 3, 6 months, 9 months out with the inauguration, catalyst, blah, blah, blah. It's, if you have to be right in the next 2 days or the next 2 trading days, like, it's hard. Because, and you're saying, okay, well, I have till next Friday. Yeah, you do. But you know what happens to this call option price if this move doesn't happen within 2 trading days. It collapses. It collapses. And as soon as it collapses, if the move happens after that, man, that move better be really good for you to uptake over $15 again, right? So, right? So, in general, buy less. Weeklies, expect zero. This is a weekly. It's expiring next Friday, right? And remember, Monday we have no trading. Monday's no, yeah, exactly. Mondays is MLK Day, exactly. So, hold on, let me close my freaking curtains here. 1 sec. All right. Okay. Hey, Joshua, how's it going? FOMO for, no, here's the thing though. Like, it very well might be a good trade to go long on Tesla weeklies next week. Right? Tyler saying, Ivan on Discord always calls his weekly my high risk trade of the day. Yeah, he does. Hey, there's Ivan. There's always still time for weeklies this week. Oh, interesting. Well, you got some balls then. 8:33. We got half an hour left. Hopefully you can get out of these positions. You know, one time I was on Interactive, I think it was Thinkorswim, and I couldn't get out one of my weeklies. And thank God it closed even after hours below my strike, but I couldn't get out. It was so illiquid. And then my app froze, and then my phone died. I was at school. It was just a bad mix. It was a bad mix. Is that a black box, your computer? Yeah, this is my new PC. What's up, Colson? So yeah, so it looks like we're consolidating though, which is nice. At a 5-minute level, ooh, look at that messy graph. I'm gonna have to, this weekend, I'm gonna take some time and redo these graphs. But, you know, obviously huge sell-off. We've kind of found a bottom here. I want to check out Square. Are any of you guys in Square at all? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys' thesis on Square? Square looks like it's coming up here a little bit. Well, not really. This is the 1 minute. I thought it was the 5 minute. Check out Square. Yeah, you guys are in Square. No Square. Thoughts on a March call for Tesla? No, I mean, in general, the more time you can buy, the better, right? The thing is, are you paying a huge percentage of your account portfolio to get in that, right? That's the question. That's the risk and reward. Fine to look at Square. Okay, so Square, good company. I'm really bullish. Here's one thing I realized. I'm doing some due diligence for Square right now, right? And I've talked about this on my last video. Tyler, my weekly high risk calls on Square about to expire worthless. Oh, what strike are you at? So here's the thing with Square. I'm in Square with leaps and short-term position as well. Here's the thing though. I looked at ARK Invest's due diligence with Square, and one thing really caught my eye, and that was in their white paper, they explicitly put out, like one line item is total addressable market, right? TAM. They have $6 trillion of total addressable market. But in parentheses, when I was reading it, it said, no, this is only US total addressable market. Future expanding markets will be reassessed on a future white paper, basically is what it said, paraphrasing. I looked up, like, that's just the US market, 6 trillion. I did I just changed the numbers a little bit, and let's say, okay, let's double 6 to 12. That's a huge effect on the stock price. They have a price target of 395. Don't quote me exactly on that, but it's 390 something on their Excel spreadsheet that I downloaded. And just by changing a few numbers, and now we know they're expanding to Europe, right? Like they just, Jack Dorsey said, or he didn't, he might have confirmed it, but they're moving into Ireland as their one of their stations and a license to start being a merchant and all this sort of stuff. Wow, that white paper doesn't even include any market outside of the US. This is why I'm so incredibly bullish on Square. Is COVID economy, is cash dying or is cash increasing? You tell me. Is cash is dying, okay? Cash is dying. No one uses cash anymore. No one wants to touch your money anymore. No one wants to touch your coins. Whole nother problem. I think we shouldn't let cash die, but it's dying. It doesn't matter what I think. Cash is dying. Merchants, smaller and smaller, are going to need these pseudo bank types. I think Square is kind of like the balance between a banking system and crypto. Crypto has all these benefits of, ease to access. You don't need permission, all this sort of stuff. Banking system is highly regulated. I kind of look at Square as like a medium in between those two things. Sunny day in Vancouver. Yep. Oh, 240 strikes. Okay, so your 240s. All right, that's tough. I'll cross my fingers for you, Tyler. Square, Tesla's coming back up. That's no surprise, Manuel. As soon as I leave the stock graph, that's when the move is bound to happen. So the way I look at Square, and I'll pull up Tesla again because that's what everyone cares about here mostly. The way I look at Square is kind of like, and again, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about your Square position, but it's kind of like a happy medium between like some of the benefits of crypto and obviously like the benefits of the modern day banking system. So I find that interesting. I do. And I want to make a video. I might do like a longer form due diligence video on Square where I go through and why reinvent the wheel, right? ARK has already done their white paper. I'm going to use their parameters and change them up for our assumptions, make a video based on that. And then I'll probably segment out that video into like a 10-minute synopsis, high level into Square. That's what I'm thinking about doing. And I'm thinking about doing that just for, even if you guys don't care, just for my sake. So I have my kind of thesis down at least. Square is only a $100 billion market cap company. $100 billion. Remember, last year Tesla was 70 or 80 billion at this time. Or no, yeah, around this time. So RS keeps on advising I check out eHang. All right, I'll put on my Chrome to check out eHang. What is that? Oh, this is like the drone company, eHang. Okay, gotcha. Are they even eHang? Are they even on the Nasdaq? Yeah, they are. Okay, eHang Holdings, 10% down for the day. Interesting. Their market cap is 2 billion. All right. I'll check them out. Thanks for the recommendation. CRM next. They're about to shoot off. I'm loading 215 calls. Salesforce. I haven't looked into Salesforce stock in a while. My old boss actually was the VP of sales there at Salesforce when they were like a $10 million company per year. Um, and he stayed with them for a while, so he made bank. I can't even imagine how much money he made. Salesforce is, Salesforce. They're like the enterprise solution for everything. They have a really good, and I've also heard Kathy Wood talk about this, is Salesforce has a really good AI system, and I forget what it's called. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment. But like it's predictive analysis for a lot of things. And I don't think it's talked about enough, but a lot of users are on it. Xiaomi, honestly, I would not know where to start with Xiaomi. The only thing I know about Xiaomi other than maybe their tech is like their scooters. I was looking at getting a Xiaomi electric scooter. Those things looked sick. What's Square? I just talked about it. You can probably rewind in the recording, but Square is like, that little thing that you attach as a Bluetooth on your phone that can swipe credit cards at those little stalls and stuff. Not only that, but they have Cash App, right? So, and then not only that, they're kind of like a banking investment system as well. Price target for Square this year, 300. My price target is higher than that. I think end of year. I could be, totally off base and obviously do your own research, but I'm hoping for a doubling at least by the end of the year. If they're a $100 billion market cap company, by the end of the year with all this growth coming in, why couldn't they be a $250 million market cap company? I wouldn't buy anything from Xiaomi. It's got the vacuum. Doesn't really work that well. Yeah. You're a devout... Hey, Gentry, you're a devout Cash App user. I wish they had that in Canada. I wish, because I want to try it out. I want to go in. When people want to pay me sometimes, they're like, hey, do you have Cash App or Venmo? And I'm like, no, I'm Canadian. I don't have that. So I want to try it. I've tried downloading it on the App Store and I can't. So, yeah. Tesla, 826. So Tesla's looking like it's probably going to get pinned to one of these whole numbers here. People on Twitter, and the conspiracy theory going around right now is honestly that there's gonna be some sort of after hours like news coming out, and I don't know if that's I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but it's definitely possible. A lot of people are predicting that with the way that the stock is moving, that potentially they're selling off so they can buy in. News came out. U.S. President Biden, $1.9 trillion stimulus plan faces growing Republican backlash. Okay, that's on the Bloomberg Twitter feed. I mean, that's expected, right? So nothing there. Fubu, DraftKings. Obviously, I have no opinion. Like, I'm really kind of conservative on when I give opinions about stuff, because obviously, I want to know more than I do averagely. So I can't say I have an opinion on those things. Canadian system is so bad. Once I moved to America, I realized how far it's behind Venmo and Cash App. Yeah, I mean, we don't have Venmo or Cash App, I think, because we have like e-transfer, and it kind of does the same thing up here. My whole watch list is red today. Yeah, I know. Tesla volume coming in power hour. Yeah, volume looks like it's coming in a little bit. Let's check the 5-minute graph here. Let's see here. So Tesla found a nice base. The MACD looks like it's finally converged positively here for the last little bit. If they announce monthly FSD after hours, watch out. I'm not saying it happens. It will move 7% after hours, says FJE. FJ is one of the conspiracy guys up here, and I like it, and I'm all for it. Square is making bank on Bitcoin. Yes, that's true, Scott. That's true, and their Bitcoin line item is going to be a surprisingly big number this quarter. Agreed. Thoughts on Lucid and Churchill Capital merge talks? Interesting. I didn't hear about that. I heard about the Lucid and Apple potential merge last month. I saw today on Twitter someone posted like, "Oh, Model S refresh, seen in the wild," and it was like the Lucid car. They all look the same after a while, right? So macro's terrible right now. I only see painful earnings. Definitely possible. 100%. Here's the thing though, is like, like macro. Remember, macro doesn't always have to be bad for the stock market to go down. It just has to be uncertain. If we check out the VIX, let me check out the VIX here real quick. All right, let's check out the VIX. The VIX is probably up on the day. It's up 2.5% to 24 bucks. So VIX is up. Again, makes sense, right? The inauguration's happening this weekend. Some uncertainty behind whether or not that's going to be fine. Blah, blah, blah. So, gonna pour a drink. Nice. Gideon, there we go. Enjoy. What do you think will be the take rate on FSD? I would assume high initially. So we have, I have like this back of the napkin. I'm not sure if you've watched it, Joshua, this back of the napkin FSD video where I've modeled it out a little bit. I assume a 33% take rate on FSD monthly. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Gentry, YOLO, Tesla 905 calls for January 22nd. 905, January 22nd. What are you paying? You're paying $6 for them. Interesting. You're paying $6 for them. What have they traded today for? Let's see. Today they were as high as what? $14 at open? $16 at open? Jeez. Okay, well, interesting. So that means when Tesla was at 850, these guys were $16 with that move. And you're gonna pay $6. Maybe. I mean, up to you, but 60, yeah, no problem. 16 bucks. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know, like Tesla at open was what price? Let's see. Tesla at open today was, let me zoom in here one sec. Tesla at open reached 860. Okay, so when Tesla stock was at 860, those things were 16. So if Tesla stock hits 860 again within the next trading day, those things might be 14, right? Because obviously theta and the acceleration might be different. You might double your money if it hits 860 again, though. I mean, it might be a good lotto. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you though. You let us know in the Discord whether or not you do it or not, and we'll see. Have calls after earnings. You can even sell during the run up. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I still have a position for February, so that's kind of my plan. So we'll see, but we're down right now. Hey, Trant, how's it going, man? What do you think about $1,000 for 2022? Oh wow. 2022. Wow, these are going to be expensive. Let's watch. Let's see what these are at. Trant is looking at $1,000 for, so these are going to be 20 grand, 20.3 grand for leaps in 2022. I mean, if this is going to be a synthetic position, like a synthetic stock position, right? Because, like you may just go, okay, instead of me putting in, let me just do the math here. Instead of me putting in $20,000 to get $830 stocks, I'd get 24 shares. Remember though, your break even is going to be calculated on this as well, right? So your break even at expiration is $1,000, which is your strike plus the premium you've paid. So $1,200 is your break even. You have 371 days until then. 371 days until then. Let me click on that and see how it's moved today. Probably not very much. Yeah, it's gone from a high of 22 grand to 20 grand right now. So it moved about 2 grand today. Your break even is 1,200 for a year. Let's call it a year out. Again, you don't need it to be there, but if you hold it by then, that's the worst case scenario. You might be up, if Tesla's at $1,100 this summer, then you're still going to be profitable on that. So it's expensive though. I mean, it's expensive. If we look at IV, and I have IV pulled up here, you guys remember these charts that I have? This is the implied volatility, right? So let me just make sure it's Tesla. So implied volatility down here, do you guys remember? Oh wait, I got to move my fat head. One sec. All right, move this over. Let me see here. Do you guys remember down here where I'm pointing with these little dots? This is where, I was making videos like, guys, it's quiet right now. If you're going to take an option position in Tesla, now's the time to buy, right? It was oddly quiet, implied volatility. Like we hadn't seen that low of implied volatility since like middle of November, right? And now Tesla implied volatility is high again, almost at kind of like the median peak of where it was at before. So that's one thing to keep in mind with all this stuff. Can you guys hear me? I think my stream died here. One sec. Can you guys hear me? I think my stream died here. One sec. Okay, I think I'm back. I don't know what happened. Smash that like button because the stream died. Yeah, thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm back. Okay, great. Sorry, I don't know why my internet just died on me. Okay, like I was saying, implied volatility was really, really low around Christmas, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, up until New Year's, right? So this was the time to go long calls, long options, right? And specifically speaking, Taranth, you were asking about the 2022 call. I can add that in, I think, into this chain. And let's take a look here. 2022, I think January. It doesn't have January. It has 2023. Let me take a look here. Let's take off all of these. Let's add in. No, Johnny, I think it was me, but I think we should be back now. There we go. So adding in just your position here. Let's take a look here. Let's see here. All right, January, just January. Let's take a look. Okay. So you see how, Taranth, you'd be buying really at like a really high IV right now. You need the move to happen in your direction for this to be profitable, right? Like you're buying at kind of the peak here, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So 70%, and this is implied volatility, right? Not implied volatility rank, but you can see where it ranks. It ranks really high, like close to the kind of the peaks of it, right? So we'll see. I have a position. Should I sell? I can't tell you whether or not to sell. That's your choice. You know, it's not up to me. You have your own risk. You have your own reward. I can't tell you. Let's see here. Square. You got it. Yeah, thanks, Trath. By the way, let me know in the comments if I cut it in and out. I shouldn't now, but let me know if I do. Yeah, like all we can do, right? All anyone can do for you is tell you what they think. None of this is financial advice. And on top of that, here's the thing I hate this, and I'm not sure if anyone else hates this as much as I do. I hate when gurus out there will tell you they know what's going to happen for a fact. Like, for a fact, this is what's going to happen. You better get long. You better get short. Like, no one, like, you haven't been dummied enough in the market if you think you know for sure, right? If you know it, like, if you're saying, you know this is going to happen for a fact, you haven't been dummied in the market. You haven't been long enough in the market, because the best laid plans are great until you get punched in the face. What is that, a Mike Tyson quote? I don't even know. But, tell me, Big, will you consider going live more often? Yeah, I am considering going live more often. I have been going a little bit this week, so feel free to hit the subscribe and hit the bell, because I don't always say it, but I always don't have it planned out. Because like Tesla, if I wake up and Tesla's flat and then it rallies like 10%. 1 hour later or something, I'm going live probably if I'm not too busy, right? Awesome, thanks, Tommy, appreciate that. Like, yeah, so it is a Mike Tyson quote. Okay, awesome. That's the thing though, is at the end of the day, IV's high right now. I'll look into that. IV is high right now. No one really knows what's going to happen. Again, benchmark funds still have to buy in though. So if we know benchmark funds have to buy in, that's one thing that I'm really just hoping for before earnings is for that to happen. Just go full-time YouTube for God's sake. Well, Joe, I already know you're subscribed, but if everyone else listening subscribes, perhaps that's possible. I'd have to get no. This is a labor of love for me too. So I consider this like my full-time hobby. Tesla looks like it is 5 minutes left in trading. It looks like it's probably gonna get pinned across this 830-ish. What causes IV to spike? Raptor's saying. So a lot of different factors, but at the end of the day, kind of to dumb it down, simple layman's terms is the more people buy and sell options contracts, the higher the option contract prices get inflated, the higher implied volatility is, right? So you can imagine before earnings, everyone is buying their puts, their calls, their straddles, their strangles, they're doing all this sort of stuff. So implied volatility increases because everyone's expecting a move to happen. When it's quiet, like before New Year's, when I was making these videos, like, guys, no one's buying options right now. If you're going to go buy leaps, now could be a good time. Around then is when no one's buying stuff. That's when you want to pick stuff up, not really at an inflated price, right? Does that make sense? Hey, Prem Kali, I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Can I explain IV rank versus or IV versus IV rank? Yes, I can. I have a video on this as well if you want to watch. It's called 3 options hacks you must know, but I'll since you asked so nicely, I'll show you right here. There it is. So one thing to notice is implied volatility is not the same as implied volatility rank. Okay. Yes, and there's a free way to find this. Just Google Market Chameleon. It's one of the free websites I found. There might be better ones out there, but Market Chameleon, you can find it. If you have Thinkorswim, you can program it in as well. This is implied volatility, right? Like this graph that I'm showing you. Let me make my head small. This graph that I'm showing you right here, this is implied volatility. Like what percentage is it at? You'll see on the right-hand side here. This is a scale, right? And let me know if you have questions throughout while I'm talking, okay? So implied volatility ranks on the side. You'll see 70%. Right now it's at 77.5%. At the end of the day, 77.5% is really high if we look at Apple, let's say, right? If we pull up Apple, 77% for Apple is abnormally high. Like you'll see in the last 6 months, Apple has not moved past really 45% of implied volatility percentage, right? So the question begs is, okay, how do we know whether or not 77 is high? So the answer to that question is you look at 77 in relation to where implied volatility has been for that same underlying stock. So if I took a point here at 77 and I said, where does 77 really rank amongst implied volatility in Tesla stock? You're going to probably say, well, it's definitely in the upper half of implied volatility. Maybe even the upper 1/3 of implied volatility, right? So you would come in and you look at IV rank, and IV rank right now is 45. So it'll tell you it's about 50% is where it ranks, okay? So that's how you know whether or not implied volatility rank is high for that stock or not, right? Because the lowest implied volatility rank that happened was on the Christmas Eve, right? And it was 61%. If I just told you, hey, it's 61%, you'd go, oh, that's crazy high, because you're used to looking at Apple where it's 37% right now. Oh, 61% is really high. So if you had sold premium, then you'd be a loser because you sold premium at the time where there was very low premium anyways, right? So the number you want to look at is called IVR. One of the things we get with interactive brokers is 52 IVR. You can pull that up on Chameleon as well. Going into Nikola is probably one of the smartest moves you could possibly do. 100%, totally agreed. If you're not in Nikola, are you even like a investor? What's that like? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. If you're listening and you thought I was being serious, you should just leave. Okay. All right, let's pull this back up here. So Tesla is 8:26. Tesla is 1 minute left till close. It looks like it's probably gonna get pinned around this 8:30. Let's watch for after hours news on this, because there we go. We closed officially at 8:26.72. Let's watch for after hours news a little bit. Hey Liam, how's it going? I know you don't like Canadian stocks, but ARK F just bought a bunch of LSPD. They have a really cool business, might spark your interest as a business owner yourself. Awesome. Okay, let me check that out. What is any? You want to give me a high level on what that is? That would be much appreciated. But I'll write that down on my list. LSPD, interesting. LSPD. Anything ARK does out. Oh, Lightspeed. Oh, Lightspeed. Is this like the trading? No, it's a point of sale system. If you want Canadian stocks, Bahadir says, look up NF. Man, I have this hate relationship with Canadian stocks. I don't know why. They're just boring. They're just boring. Shopify, there's a reason why they went to the States, right? Okay, yes, mining companies, graphite companies, these sort of stuff, definitely Canadians. Lithium stocks as well. There's actually a lithium-based company that exploded. My dad was showing me Ballard and Co. or Ballard Company or something. Ballard Lithium or something. It's just like, there it is, Ballard Power Stock, and their headquarters is like not even a couple kilometers away from me. So, actually, no, they're in Burnaby, so they're a little bit further, but they're in a backyard. Vale, yeah, and they're boring as hell. I agree. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, yeah, Nicola all day, exactly. Night so post sale Montreal based company. Okay, interesting. Our market's so small and Canada's highly manipulated. Yeah. There used to be a fun fact, there used to be a Vancouver stock exchange, right? There used to be a Vancouver stock exchange before all of the pump and dumps started scamming everyone out of their money back in the early 2000s. And I'm kind of sad because I wish that was around when I traded, because that would be a cool experience to go into an exchange. I've come close to going into New York Stock Exchange, but I was like, nah, I don't have time. We had a layover. I need to visit New York again because I only been there for like a day, and it was like 12 hours of me logging in. I need to be around more, that little area. But I guess it doesn't matter anymore because the exchanges don't even have people in there anymore, I bet, right? Like everyone's trading from home now, which is nuts. Canadians are too nice to manipulate the market. That's funny. Can I hire you to teach me options? Probably not, but I appreciate the reach out. What you can do is join our Patreon, and our Discord is awesome. There's a lot of really awesome people in there. Tyler's one of them. He's watching. Ivan, Gentry, a lot of these people that you're chatting with are actually in there. We have an options talk channel. People are talking strategy there all the time. Covered calls, going long, taking lottos. So, I've only done a couple of these awesome Discord. Thanks, Gentry. I've only done a couple of these like one-on-ones, but like honestly, I don't have the time to do one-on-ones. I wish I did, but with my other stuff going on, I like to reserve my time for live streams and making videos that I can do. So one-on-ones are just hard for me. Yeah, I appreciate that though, DS. I appreciate that. But yeah, join the Discord. Discord slaps. Great info article shared. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, Aaron's awesome in there too. We'll all be posting stuff. That's what she said. What did I say? I don't even know what I said. Do you guys talk about buying $35 weeklies on GME? What is up with GME? Does anyone know? Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for the heads up. I gotta change my Wi-Fi adapter. What's up with GME? Is that just the Wall Street? Is that just the Wall Street play nowadays? What's my day job? I don't have a day job. I own a couple businesses. So let's check out Twitter. I'm a real estate agent, if that counts as a day job, but it's not like I'm doing real estate stuff all day. Elon Musk tweeted a little bit. What did he say? Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if if Elon Musk says something with Bitcoin soon, right? Hey, Armani, how's it going? GME, Palantir, yep. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin news happens soon. It's a meme stock, Wall Street bet. Some guy bought 600 calls and GME was down 10K until Wall Street. Oh, wow. Are you serious? Wow. Armani, the OG. Okay, Bitcoin. I really think, and tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, I think Tesla might buy some Bitcoin. The last thing we call money, this is Elon, is just an information system for labor allocation. What actually matters is making goods, providing services. We should look at currencies from an information theory standpoint. Whichever has least error and latency will win. Bitcoin, least error, says someone. Longest, toughest, oldest blockchain, most secure. Granted, it has latency issues and transactional costs, but if it was used as a store of value and transmission of large values, it's massively efficient. Currencies already work as currencies. Bitcoin doesn't need to replace them. Rather, Bitcoin is a patch to fix reserve banks' inflationary insanity. And you know what Elon hates more than anything in the world? It's the SEC, it's the federal government, it's just bureaucracy in general. He hates that, right? I can see them putting in some money into Bitcoin. I can see it. And I was not thinking this was the case. And I'll share my screen here. Okay, let me just window Chrome. Let's put this underneath my video. Let's make this a little bit bigger here. Here's what I'm looking at. I would not be surprised if Tesla announces on their earnings call that they put some money into Bitcoin. Roadster down payment with Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe. I wish Elon would stop teasing. He also tweets and hints about Doge. I agree. He teases way too much. And Doge is just a meme. He's just screwing with us. But here's my counterpoint to myself. And again, I think it's important that we have counterpoints to ourselves. If you guys know Martin Visha, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Visha. He's the head of IR at Tesla. And I found interesting, I did some digging. He liked a tweet recently about Bitcoin. And I'm just going to try to see if I can find it here now. And he liked a tweet, which made me think, okay, there's no way. There's no way that they're buying Bitcoin. BTC, Bitcoin, labor. What did he talk about? Let me try to find it here live. Obviously live, I can't find stuff, but let's see here. Where was it? If anyone knows what I'm talking about, let me know. Okay, here, found it. This is what makes me think there's no way that Tesla will do it, and Elon makes me think there's a way. At the end of the day, I think Elon will let his smarter financial minds prevail, but when Elon wants something, we know he really just goes for it, right? So yeah, he's never been positive on Bitcoin. That's what I'm thinking. But so check this out. Martin, who's the investor relations head at Tesla, liked this tweet from this thread. Gally says, "Yo, Elon, I think we should start putting some more money into Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah." Not opposing Bitcoin, someone says, but how does this help with the company's mission? He says they need to start being smart with their capital allocation. Matt says mark to market will be very volatile in GAAP. And then Gally's like, well, okay, who cares about managing GAAP earnings anyways? Someone replies saying, lol, there's someone managing the company, so GAAP earnings look good. Last thing on earth a sane investor wants is for Tesla to take on lots of risk that is totally outside of the control of Elon Musk just to speculate for those who want Bitcoin. Someone replied saying, companies have their finance departments grow the treasury in a myriad of ways. Treasure in a myriad of ways, but having an insurance policy against inflation in different asset classes is a smart move. And then Martin liked this tweet. Let me read it out. Here's the thing. Tesla's supply chain is not denominated in Bitcoin and cannot source materials or labor inputs in Bitcoin. If it needed an insurance policy against inflation, it would be in the local currencies and commodities and resources used in the places Tesla has expenses. He liked this tweet. Did some digging. He liked this tweet. If you like this tweet, you can probably bet your bottom dollar it's probably not going to happen. But when Elon comes out and he's tweeting like this, good point, or when he replied to Dave's tweet about the X company saying, what did he say? I think he said, looks good or something. Makes us think that there's a chance. It could just be him trolling us, right? In a hardcore way. Because, whether or not these people are going to let him do that is a different story. Hey, Tummy Big, welcome to Patreon. Welcome to Discord as well. Drew Sherling, welcome to Patreon and Discord. We'll catch you in there. So I mean, that's the thing. 4 or 5 delays since you said hit that new computer. hit that bit, exactly. Hey, hit that subscribe button if you guys are watching and getting a like out of this, or don't. I don't care. So yeah, I mean, it's anyone's guess what happens here with Bitcoin and Tesla. I think it's also possible that it happens. When is it going to get announced? Probably earnings if it does happen. Like if they put in 1%, like Vasi, you're saying 1% cash in crypto isn't bad. Yeah, I mean, but 1% of 20 billion is still $200 million, right? But yeah, I know what you're saying. Apple considers a foldable iPhone. Let me check my timeline status. News. Sawyer, Ford is delaying hundreds of Mach-E's. Tyler, I think you messaged me about this. Mach-E's deliveries in order to do additional quality checks after delivering a handful of vehicles next year. Puts on Ford. Biden says we remain in a very dark winter on COVID. Okay. Interesting. These non-context quotes are just weird. Okay, it looks like there's another privacy issue with these tech companies. What else is happening on Twitter? Tesla flushing all S and X inventories have kept these production lines idle since Christmas break. Deep refresh coming exciting. Project Plaid will deliver at last. Yep, that's exciting. Portfolio Tesla end of portfolio. That's awesome, and I feel like a lot of us are like that. A lot of us watching. Oh, whoops, it's crazy. There we go. This is the problem with Bitcoin and crypto. Governments have made it harder to convert fiat into crypto. Yes, but there's I mean, here's the thing. That's why we have cash and we have wallets offline or cold storage. Also, if there's any issues with Bitcoin, they can just split, right? Like if the government takes over one branch, they'll split. Like it's kind of like it's like Medusa. Tyler, you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be capital gains on that. The question is, can you? No, I'm not gonna talk about tax evasion. But 100%. The question is, how are you going to cash out? Are you going to go to Bitcoin ATM? Are you going to buy? Are you going to sell it out? So we'll see. I'm gonna have to adjust my stream settings later. Sorry about that, y'all. First stream, new PC. I have not adjusted anything, so pardon my 480. But there's nothing really to read right now, so I'll just read it out. Oh, if the car company takes Bitcoin. Oh, that's a good question. Oh, like if Tesla started taking Bitcoin. I think because it's a company taking it, one side of it's going to be noted, so the other side of it, you automatically fall into it, right? So yeah. So again, consolidating, slight sell-off week into Tesla. Nothing too much to worry about. I think fundamentals are still the same. Obviously for Tesla, this could be the sell-off that the market makers or the institutional hedge funds needed. If you guys remember, we had a lot of upgrades this week. Did the stock move up? No. So could it have been buy the news, buy the rumors, sell the news on their aspect? It could possibly be. Yeah, exactly, Scott. Wedbush raised its price target. We saw a lot of upgrades this week, and it did move the stock. So that happens. It happens. It's it's not all gravy for us. But if we check out the hourly graph, really healthy consolidation gap fill. Right? If you guys remember, we gapped up on the 7th to the 8th of January from 800 all the way up to like 875. And now we've pretty much filled that gap in. So we'll see if this consolidates again or if it'll trend lower. But catalysts next week are going to be a big part of it. All right, 149 people watching. I appreciate all you guys. If you guys are watching, hit the like button. Actually, don't even hit like. Just hit subscribe because if next time I go live, I don't have to get a billion messages about you didn't tell me I was going live. I know. Honestly, I don't even know when I'm going to go live. So if you want to know when I'm going to go live, you have to subscribe and hit the bell. Otherwise, or go on Discord. I usually let people on Discord know as soon as I find out I'm going to go live. 229 watching. Okay, sorry. Thank you. My number says 149. I don't know why. Yeah, so hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in, chatting with me. Again, this is fun. This is, this is why I always say, take profits if you're a short-term trader. If you're a core investor, you're laughing. You don't even care about downfalls in Tesla because it's just an opportunity to buy. So stay long, do what you need to do, reconfirm your thesis, test your thesis, make sure that you're being a prudent investor and you're not in an echo chamber. It's important to do that, right? And remember, you can only watch so many Tesla videos. That's a lie. I can watch Tesla videos all day. I know if you guys are watching, probably the same. I literally will go to bed watching a Tesla video, like most nights. So I don't know if I should have admitted that. All right, guys. I appreciate every one of you guys watching. Much love to everyone. I hope it wasn't too glitchy today. I'm sorry about the quality. I'm going to get better on that. I got the new PC. I need to just set it all up. Tyler, Chu, Nicholas, Johnny, Scott, Chris, Vasu, Joshua, Liam, Marco, every one of you guys. Jan, hey Jan, how's it going? I didn't even say hi. Every one of you guys, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to catch you next week. I will have videos probably this weekend as well, but I'll catch you on Tuesday. That's the next trading day. Hopefully Tesla's up 10% and I'll go live again. I hope so. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Much love. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.